Greetings, my lovelies. Today we're going to go through a massive, what do they call it? The opposite of a haul. I'm going to be getting rid of some of my tarot and oracle decks, and I already know who I'm giving them to. I'm just going to show the decks I'm getting rid of. So, in the spirit of not hoarding, uh, decks for no apparent reason and then not even using them, I'm going to rehome my decks. So, the first deck I'm going to rehome is a beautiful deck that I just don't use. I have two decks of the same type. They're both decks that are meant to help bring more higher vibrational energies. And of the two, this one I don't use as much. It is the Golden Future Oracle by Diana Cooper. Absolutely beautiful, vibrant pictures. I absolutely adore the pictures, but it just doesn't vibe as well as the other deck does with me. So I will be getting rid of this deck. The backs are beautiful, faux diamond looking picture. And I wish I had connected better with it, but it just didn't connect as well as the other deck that I got for the same reasoning. And I will be doing another video showing the decks that I decided to keep. Um, that will probably come out next week or so. So that's the first deck that I will be rehoming. The next deck I have is a mini version of the Practical Magic Inner Witch Oracle. Here's the backs. It's a very beautiful, nostalgic deck because I was about a teenager when this came out. The not the deck, but the movie Practical Magic, and it was a very pivotal part of my growing up. And this beautiful deck will be rehomed to a wonderful being who I know will appreciate the use of that deck. The next deck is an indie deck. I don't really normally buy indie decks, but I really liked this one. It is the Solaris Tarot Guide, uh, uh, illuminated by Bastet's Light tarot deck. And I know you guys have seen this beautiful deck in some of my readings on this channel. It is a absolutely gorgeous deck, but it is, and I asked it this morning, and it is ready to be moved on to a new home for readings by another person. And I did modify this deck a little bit. I cut off the edges, which were gold, and I recurved the edges with a edge cutter. It just was, it had another border on it. It was like another black border, and it was just too dark for me to use on a regular basis. So I will be giving that deck away. It gets to a point sometimes where you ask someone who enjoys tarot and oracle decks, where it just gets to a point where sometimes you feel as if, or I do, I'm not one of the collectors that will just continue collecting over and over and over and over again until I have ridiculous amounts of decks. When I get to a certain point, I feel the need to get rid of large amounts of them so that I can keep the amount down. Basically, everything on this shelf right here is what's being kept. Everything else is being rehomed. This one that I am playing with right now is not an oracle or tarot deck. It's actually a spell deck. Um, it has different words on the back, and then on the fronts, it has different spells that you can do in those categories to just kind of keep you in your magical space. So I'm going to give that deck away because at this point I have made it to where my daily practices include some type of spell work. So I will not be needing that anymore. This is a deck that I do not use for readings outside of working for myself. And it is a deck that I dedicated to Bastet. And what I did was I went to make playing cards and I had some images that I pulled off of Google and they're all cat images and I added titles to them and made a deck that of course I can't sell because of copyright infringement and whatnot, but it has all different kinds of cat imagery that I went and basically imagery that had to do with aspects of Bastet, and I made a oracle for her. But I barely ever use this anymore, and it is ready to be rehomed. And I know someone who actually works with her energies, so I am going to rehome it to her. Um, This is a recent buy that I got the Queen of the Moon and the Queen of the Sun Oracle at the same time. I got the Queen of the Moon and it's not, it's beautiful, but I'm not really working with moon energies like that. So, though I know someone who does and works with a moon goddess, I decided I'm going to give that to her and have her use that. I've already discussed most of the people who I'm giving these decks to. I already contacted them and let them know that decks will be coming their way. Most people who know me know after a while I do end up getting rid of decks because, as I said, when I get new decks, I try to not just harbor a bunch of new decks, and I will give some of the used decks to other people so that I'm not like just holding on to a ridiculous amount of decks because I like to be able to uh, build a relationship with my decks. And if I have too many, then it's just like having too many friends. It's hard to keep track of all their wants and needs and emotional things that are going on with them if you are constantly working with other ones. So that I can focus my energies, I am getting rid of these decks. We have the Hidden Realms Tarot. Beautiful deck. It has served me well in readings, and it is time for us to part. This was one of the first decks I think I bought during when I started working with the Fae recently, in the last year, or at least when I started working with them more closely, because I've already always like recognize their existence, but I just didn't really closely work with them until last year. So I went and bought a whole bunch of fairy decks, and I still have some decks, and I will go over that in my decks that I'm keeping um, video. But uh, I have decks still that I will be using for the Fae. I just won't be using it'll be different. You'll see. Another Fae deck, we have the Fae Tarot. Uh, and this was a cute one, absolutely adorable, very, very harsh when it got readings. At least with me, it was one that did not hold back, even though you would think with the cute little pictures that it would hold back a little bit better or be more gentle, but it was not. It was very, very in your face readings, and I loved it for that. And again, this is going to go to a wonderful soul I know that will treat it well. And that's our Fae Tarot. We have Shadowscapes Tarot, another Fae deck. It could also be used as a uh, angelic deck because the Fae in this deck look very angelic sometimes. There's mermaids, there's all different kinds of mythical creatures in there. It is a very airy type energy, very whimsical, if one would say. Here's the beautiful backs to this deck. And then we have this bag, Night Fairies Oracle, beautiful backs. The illustrations on this is remarkable. I am one of those people who feel that everything has a spirit to it. And so before I go and get rid of a deck, I always ask if it is ready to be released, meaning if it's ready to leave my home and move on to another. And all of these have agreed. And they have agreed to the homes in which they're going to, and even helped in the decision making for that. We have the Earth and Bone Oracle. Here's the book. This one was a beautiful deck. I love the imagery. I don't really like how it's got all these words on it, personally. And I wish I had known about it when it was an indie deck. I guess I've seen some videos where the indie deck, it does look a little different. It doesn't have as much of the uh, keywords on it, and the border is slightly different. But it served its purpose. Like I said, it was very beautiful. It helped in the goddess work I was doing with a specific goddess. I now have a replacement deck for that goddess, so we have moved to a new deck. But I know a beautiful soul who will fully enjoy this type of imagery. It's got light blue teal type, what is it called? Gilding. The back is a beautiful color. absolutely. I am an artist, and so when I see different arts, um, that's one reason why I usually buy so many tarot and oracle decks is because I do enjoy the art aspect of it outside of the uh, divination aspect of it. This is the Soul cards. It's one of the pip decks that I bought. It has been really good in readings. And as I said in a previous video, I am this year focusing on moving away from Rider-Waite-Smith type decks, and my spirit is just telling me I need to move on to a different type of deck. Most of the decks that I will be keeping are variations of the Marseille, Tarot de Marseille, or um, variations of the Thoth deck. Um, I am really enjoying reading with the Tarot de Marseille, as it just feels more organic to my spirit. Um, and so I'm also planning on learning the Thoth. I'm trying to learn more about astrology at this point, and so the Thoth deck, it's again a gorgeous deck, but it's more the astrological aspects of it that really grabs onto me with the Thoth deck. Um, and so I will be eventually incorporating those into my videos, but pretty much from now on, you'll be seeing more Tarot de Marseille readings and things of that sort. Um, this one I wasn't sure about, but the last minute it said it was ready to go. This is uh, the Antique Anatomy deck. I did do some really beautiful readings with this one. In the last year. I love this card. Absolutely love it. The art on this is just mwah. Here's the backs. And it's just, I'm happy to see and know that they're going to go to a good place. And I know that I just wasn't going to be able to give them the attention that they deserve. So, in that, I know we see on TarotTube a lot the acquisition of tarot cards and people continually getting new ones and bringing in new decks into their deck family and into their practice. And I think at this point, it's gotten to the point where it has gotten to be toxic to some degree, where people continuously feel like they need to bring new decks in constantly, and they need to hold on to decks that they don't even use. And I would like to try to be a representation of breaking that stigma. Um, as you can see, I still have a decent amount, but they are ones that I currently use. Like one of them is on my altar right now, or not altar, working desk, I guess. Um, Actually, I have two that I am currently working with. And so it's more just being conscientious of, I think at a point you need to find what type of deck you like and then just kind of stick with it. And at this point for myself, Tarot de Marseille is my number one, Thoth is my number two, and then that's pretty much it. So in the next video that you see of me going through my practice, it'll probably be me showing the decks that I am keeping. And I will 100% let you know that most of them are either Oracle decks, Tarot de Marseille, or Thoth, or Thoth decks. Okay? So it was great speaking with you. I will see you soon, my lovelies. And y'all have a glorious day. Bye.